Well, check this out, my nomies. We've got sunshine today. Finally. That's nice. Looks good out here. And oops, look, I just found another long limb that has fallen out of grandfather oak and apparently is caught on another limb. It'll be coming down one of these days. We'll just let it hang there for now. The other thing we're going to do for now is get back to Pearl and get back to work on the MT, because that's why I'm here. So I hope you remember the last time we found ourselves under Pearl's hood, we were looking at the battery compartment area and what we were going to have to do to modify it and get it back in condition to put a battery in. And as you recall, it's in pretty bad shape. Most of the original battery tray is completely rusted out. However, the framing is still here, and it's still firm, fastened against the fender. It's actually welded onto there, spot welded. And this right here is also extremely firm. It has a steel mounting underneath it, so we've got a good point of contact there. So we need something to fit in this area, and I don't know, to come out to maybe right in here, something like that, that we can sit a battery on and secure it here with the battery clamp, which I think we can still use. See if we can actually get that out of there. There's one. There, okay. So, yeah, we can clean that up and use it again. So we're good to go there. But as for finding something to use as a battery tray, that might be a little bit challenging. So here's the deal. Pearl uses a size 24 battery. Now, according to my research, size 24 is going to measure about 10 1/4 to 10 1/2 inches long, its maximum length. It's going to be about 6 1/2 to 6.8, just under 7 inches wide, and just under 9 inches tall. Now, a battery that size will fit perfectly in this space. I just have to have something to sit it on and secure it to. So I need a tray, I don't know, maybe 11, 12 inches by, say, 8 inches, something like that. Something that I can fit that battery, the tie-down connection around in some form or fashion, maybe drill through it and hook it in there or something like that. And then, of course, I need to be able to secure that to the frame. Hopefully I can just drill in to the steel mounts and maybe use a few sheet metal screws to hold it in place. Assuming, of course, I'm using metal, which I would like to use. I thought about wood, and this is under the hood. It's going to get too much weathering for wood. It's not going to last, even no matter how much you treat it. Okay, it's going to wear out, and I'll end up replacing it again. So that's out for now. Plastic. If I got the right plastic, it would be okay. I'm not sure I know enough about plastics to know which ones are really resistant to battery acid. Hopefully battery acid is not going to be a problem, but a spill is always a danger when you're dealing with a lead acid battery. And that's sulfuric acid. It will eat through most plastics. Some of them are resistant to it, but I don't know which ones. Maybe a little more research. So I could look at that. And metal. If I can fabricate something out of metal, I think I would really like to use that. The key word there is fabrication. I've got some scrap metal around here, and maybe I can make something out of that and come up with a tray. why don't we go see what's available? Well, first of all, there's my metal pile here in the yard. Now this box right here is what I took off of Pearl. It's what her propane bottles were in. It was the box to house the propane bottles. It is not that heavy. It's just kind of flimsy aluminum. I don't think it will make a very good support. Now this other case is an old clothes dryer that I saved the case on just in case I needed some sheet metal. It is much heavier. Even got a nice finish on it, and it would probably make a sturdy tray. I've got a couple of old file cabinets here too that are fairly heavy. They might work as well. The question is, do I have the tools that I can use to cut a tray out of, say, this back off of the clothes dryer? Actually, I think that's the top of the clothes dryer. Not that it really matters now anyway. So anyway, there's that. Okay, this is one possibility, all right? Let's see what else we can uncover. I'm almost afraid to go in here. So much stuff, and it's rather haphazardly piled and arranged. But here again, we've got quite a few parts that have come off Pearl. Most of these are going to go back on Pearl, though. That's the reason we're hanging on to them. Things like the radiator, for example, and the front grille, and the front bumper, and things like that that are kind of important. But back here in the back, I've got some scrap pieces. Let's just see what there is, because I really haven't looked in here long enough to know. A couple of air conditioners. One, I think they both still work. Probably need charging, so I don't really want to tear into them. Oh, I do have a piece of heavy steel here. Let me show you this. This was in Pearl. This is what the electrical system was mounted on. It went over one of the fender wells. And it is some thick, heavy steel, as you can tell. Here again, it would make a wonderful tray. And, I don't know, dimensions. Let's see, I happen to have my handy tape measure with me. How wide is this? 10 inches. So lengthwise, widthwise, it could be cut down. Could easily be cut down. Question is, can I cut it? Because I tell you, that is a heavy piece of steel. You can hear how it's ringing whenever I move it. So, but anyway, there we have another possibility, okay? What else we got here? Let's see. Some aluminum flashing. Here again, that's way too lightweight. It's not going to hold any weight. Well, I thought that was promising for a second, but nope, that's plastic. So we don't want plastics. Old plastic at that. Here again, this is steel. I think this is part of a, I don't know, maybe a router attachment, a little router table or saw table. It's not big enough though. I mean, it could probably hold a battery and you could strap one down to it. So, I don't know. Maybe we can look at that. I would prefer to have something that the battery would kind of sit down in. Ooh, here might be a possibility. Okay, this is an old, what do they call them, old box heater, barn heater, something like that, that does not heat no more. So, once again, what kind of dimensions are we looking at here? That is going to be about 13 inches long, 10 inches wide. That would be that'd be just about as big as I could go in that space under the hood. In fact, it might be a little bit too big. But my thought is you could actually take this off and turn it over, and with the sides coming up on it, you'd have a tray that you could set the battery down in, and it's even ventilated here on the bottom. Don't know if that's important or not. So here again, I'd have to check because that would be pretty tight size-wise, but it's a possibility. What else? My goodness, there's a lot of stuff here. Oh look, a crate full of Christmas lights. Portholes. I have portholes. Old toaster oven with apparently toaster oven tray on top of it. Hey, wait a minute. Wait just a minute. This might be what the doctor ordered. I don't know. It's got to be close. What are the measurements on this? You know, I almost didn't come in here to check all this stuff. I am not glad I did. That is not quite a foot. About 11.5 inches. Battery would fit in that way. It is, well, inside about 7 3/4, maybe 7.5. I think that might hold a battery. Wow. Let's take this. This is anodized aluminum. I think with support underneath it, it'll be plenty heavy enough. It's not going to bend. The battery is going to weigh probably 40 pounds, you know, more or less. So they're not lightweight, but with the weight distributed out and supported by that steel framing, this might work. Let's carry it over to Pearl, get under the hood, and see how it fits in there, okay? Okay. Once again, my tray dimensions here are 11 3/4 by 7 3/4. That should be big enough to hold a battery. Let's see if this space is going to hold this. And it looks like it just might sit in there beautifully. There's plenty of room for it. Actually, a little space to spare. It is just about centered on the heavy mount that we could screw down into. Now with this end basically just kind of hanging off, we're going to have to be sure and secure this end as well. Put some sheet metal screws into either the existing frame or into the fender. But with that secured in place, I think this may work as our battery tray. I'd like to get some sort of padding to put in it. Just some rubber pad of some sort. So I'll nose around and see what I can find there for that. Just to give a little more cushion, bit of a cushion support to the battery so it doesn't vibrate quite as much. Because vibration is just the enemy of everything on a vehicle. One more thing we need to see though, whether or not this contraption, are we going to be able to fit this around that? And for that I think I'm going to need both hands. Okay, that's one side in. And there's the other side. And you know what? I think we are going to be okay with that. really think so. Plenty of room for a battery post. Let me check the overhead clearance on this. What I say, the battery measured 8.9 inches, right at 9 inches in height. So that's going to put it right up here. Well, that's awfully close, but it still gives us plenty of clearance. And this is the size battery that the van was designed for. And putting this tray in is not really adding that much additional thickness to the original support that was down here that's now all rusted out. So my point is, I think this is all going to work. Next step is figuring out exactly how we want to attach this tray to Pearl. And I think that's going to require a drill, a heavy-duty bit, and some sheet metal screws. Let's see what we can find. So, I obviously jinxed myself talking about sunshine, beautiful weather yesterday. Just when you think it's going to be nice to get out and work again, it gets cold and rainy. It's winter in the south. I should have known. And here's the other thing. You may have noticed yesterday, I'm getting a raspy voice. I'm getting sick. Low-grade fever, aches, pains. I feel like someone whacked a tire iron all over me. And throat's getting raspy. Got a rather persistent hacking cough, so I just don't feel good overall. And I kind of managed to tough it out yesterday doing the video, and I kind of thought, well, I'll get up today and I'll go ahead and we'll drill our holes and get that tray mounted. But no, that's not going to happen today. And then I get up and it's raining, and it's just like, okay, I know when I need to retreat and regroup. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. We're going to stop this video here. I apologize for not finishing the project. All I can say is we will try to do it next week. A lot of it's going to depend on how I'm feeling by then. And if I'm not feeling much better, I'm not sure what we'll do. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, okay? In the meantime, I hope you are feeling well, and I hope you continue to be healthy. And I want to thank you for staying with us and staying along on this adventure with the MT and me, and coming along for the ride. You know, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you have not done so. Remember to give me a thumbs up and share the video. And down below, there's a place to buy me a coffee if you'd like to help with the Pearl restoration project. All right. For now, I am going to go inside and fix myself a cup of tea and try to get to feeling better. And I'll probably take a COVID test just to be safe, because you can't be too safe in this day and age. So we'll see how that turns out, and we will see you next week, one way or the other, here on the MT and me. I'm Russ. Thank you, my nomies, for staying with us. We will talk later.